want every player to understand this, that you are not going to win every single point of the match. Now, the data is telling us now that players that are winning matches are only winning between 52 to 54% of the points overall in that match. Now, that means that every second point you're going to lose, in theory. Thinking about that is really important, because the way that we respond and react to losing points is critical. There's no point hanging on to points, and no point, regardless of whether you've won it or lost it. And one of the theories I've heard of late is deep wins, shallow losses. Now, that's for matches in general. Have a deep win and understand that you want to celebrate the wins and really enjoy the wins, because they don't come around all the time. And when you have a loss, just move on really quickly. But I think if we can take that theory into points and understand that, ride the wave of the emotion of winning a point and make sure that your energy stays really up and about, but have a shallow loss of a point, just move on from it straight away. Now, one way to do this, and one of the things I've always encouraged my players to do, is take a towel on the tennis court, grab the towel at the back of the court, and after every point, wipe away the point. Win or loss, wipe it away. Now, it's a really simple theory in mindset of, regardless of the result, I just need to get rid of the last point and focus in on what I'm about to do. Because if you're still carrying on, the emotion of the previous point, it's very hard for you to focus on the process of what to do next at the next point. So if you can think your way through those scenarios and always have a routine that you have to get rid of those thoughts, it is vitally important in terms of trying to move on. So always remember, you're not going to win every single point of the match, that you are going to lose points, that you need to have a shallow loss, okay, and a deep win. So shallow loss, get rid of the point, it's over. Deep win is enjoy it, but make sure you get the energy back up again and use that energy to ride the wave of emotion for the next point, and make sure that your energy is pumping and that you've got more, energy, focus, and discipline for the next point. So this is my biggest bugbear. If you think of a match and you play 100 points in a match, and the average amount of points that we win is, say, 54%. Let's say we've 54% and the other person wins 46%. If we think of that 100-point match and say, okay, well, let's imagine the 46% player wins one more point. So they've won 47%. That means that this player here has won only 53%. If this player here wins another point in that 100-point match and goes to 48, this player goes down to 52%. So as you can see, it's kind of like this push-pull mechanism where I win a point, that person loses a point. So every time that you play a point, it's almost worth two when you think about it in the context of tennis. So if you're holding on to really negative emotion and you lose 2, 3, 4 points in a row, you can almost double that in the context of the match. So what we want to ensure we do is not only ourselves get through losses of points, but as coaches, let's not dwell on what they did wrong in the point. Let's focus in on what happens next. Every time a player loses a point or wins a point, I always say to them, okay, what's next? What's next? And that can be my continual verbal discussion with them, is that point is now done. It's now to move on to the next point. So always remember, a routine's handy for that, to wipe away the point, but always focus in on what's next.